Hi, everybody. Just waiting to be sure we're live. How is everybody? Start tuning in. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from today. And I'm on my other feed to make sure that it's streaming into the Facebook group because there's been some techie challenges that I've been having lately. So let me just, okay, we're excellent. How is everybody doing today? Wow, I feel amazing because it's a beautiful spring day. It's still spring here in Japan. It's a gorgeous day. So, yeah, it's going to be nice to get out this afternoon. I'll be taking the afternoon off for once and enjoying a little bit of what it has to offer. So, anyway, I just wanted to let you know for today's video, it's a great topic that I think a lot of my business entrepreneur friends can relate to and will be interested in knowing more about. And it's how to use a book as the ultimate lead magnet and how to get that book written in a very short period of time, in like 3 days. And you can do it. Believe me. I'm going to lay out the strategy for you here in this video so that you can figure it out and go ahead and do this for yourself in your business, because a lot of my clients tell me, I've been thinking about writing a book. I've got this great idea, how I can tie it into my business and what I can do. But it's the time, right? And how do I take the time to actually get that thing written? And yeah, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me just again say a warm welcome to everybody who's joining. And let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from today. And if you're here on the replay, let me know as well, because I definitely will circle back around and check any comments and see if you have any questions as well. So yeah, the book thing. Wow, what a great idea to tie two things, two concepts into one strategy. And that is the getting of the book written, as well as using it as a lead magnet, which is something that most people don't do. And it's such a lost opportunity, you guys, because basically with books these days, most authors don't actually sell very many copies. That's the sad truth. You and me, well, maybe I shouldn't say you because I don't know you, but I know me and most of my clients and most of my colleagues for that matter, we're not writing books to sell them and to make money off the sales of a book. That would be nice if it happened, if you did get a whole bunch of sales. But the chances of that happening are just not nearly as high, right? As it would be for a lot of people who are, known authors and have deep pockets. Maybe they're publishing with a publishing house and they've got, the road trip under their belt. They're going to go and do the full launch for their book when it's coming due and that kind of thing. That's a whole different ball game, right? For the rest of us who are just adding this on to an existing business, an existing career or pursuit, it's not that realistic, I guess, to think that we're gonna sell 1 million copies and make a whole bunch of money off of a book we're going to write. But what you can do is use that book as a jumping off point to get yourself some amazing warm, if not hot, leads from it. And this is an excellent strategy that works just about every time if you do it properly. So what I'd like to let you know is with the writing of the book itself, it is something that you can do in, like I say, a very short period of time. And sorry, I was just a little bit distracted for a second there. Let me get to the actual meat of the strategy and not keep you hanging on. And by the way, at the end of the video, there's going to be a link where you can get a free PDF that is like a cheat sheet to this whole exact strategy. If you want to grab that, you can, and have it on file so that you can follow step by step. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to choose a topic and write a book that has something either directly or closely related to do with your business and the type of leads that you want to attract to you. So, for example, if you're in health and fitness, if you're a health and fitness coach, I mean, there's so many places you can go with that, right? There's so many potential avenues. But you would want to obviously get as close to your direct market as you possibly can. And hopefully you've really niched down already and figured out a tiny niche for yourself that only you can fit in. That's what one of my mentors says: carve a niche so small that only you can fit into it. And why do we do that? We do it because when we're not famous and when we don't have millions of dollars to promote, this is the way that we can stand out from the rest of the crowd who does have lots of money to promote and deep pockets and who maybe are famous as well. So this is how we can call out directly to a small audience that we have chosen specifically because we know we can help their biggest pain point. And that's kind of the whole thing in a nutshell. And basically, you're going to want to, if you haven't done that already, you're definitely going to want to do that because it will expand your business. I know it sounds counterintuitive and you're thinking, no, it sounds like I'm going to make my business smaller if I do that. What about all the other people? All the other people, you're not going to get everybody anyway, and you're going to get far fewer people overall if you're trying to reach out to the masses because your marketing message just won't vibe with everybody. And I use this example all the time that if you wanted to put the same product in front of an over 50-year-old woman, she is not going to respond to the same advertising that a 21-year-old dude will, right? To think that you're going to do the same ads and make the same product that's going to appeal to both of those people, it's not going to. Just do yourself a favor and give up on that idea and instead pick your market. If you want to deal with whoever, pick them and go after them. Figure out their big pain point, find a way to solve it, and put that product in front of them. And that's the way that I want to say people like us. That's the way that most of us are going to be able to be even more successful in our business. So assuming that you've done that, you're going to pick a topic that for your book that has something to do with the business that you're in and the people that you want to help. So if you're hypothetically in health and fitness, and let's say it is for women over 50, and you want to get more leads in that group, and hopefully you've niched down a whole lot further than that, but you're going to write a book on, say, something about, how to, something along the lines of how to change your eating habits to suit your new reality of your physical body now. So, something along those lines. I don't know. And basically what you're going to do in the book itself is have options for them to click on, or not click on there, but to go to a URL to get a free lead magnet from you, right? Where you're going to offer further advice to them on something that they're really going to want to know about. So if you're approaching, obviously if women's over 50, maybe you're going to want to try and niche yourself into the menopause market, let's say. And if that's the case, if you've got you've done research and you figured out a way to stop or lessen the sweats that they always get, then you could theoretically you could do a lead magnet in your book. You would have a call to action at the end or maybe throughout, something about, and hey, by the way, after an exhaustive bit of research, we found an all natural way to reduce the hot flashes by 90% in the vast majority of women. If you would like to get a free copy of that, go to this URL and get it now. And then you would have your URL in there and they would go there and get that. And in order to receive that free PDF or mini book or whatever it is, you would get their email address. So that's how you would start to build up your reserves of the warm leads coming directly from this book, because they're already reading what you've written in the book. They're already liking what you're having to say and wanting to know more. And it's sort of like a big introduction, right, to you, as opposed to one email here or there, one ad here or there, one banner they see, the one little couple of second long shots that you get. And that's why it takes 7 or 10 or 12 of those to get over that hurdle of somebody feeling like they know you well enough that they are comfortable to push a button and either buy or learn more. When they're reading a book that you've written, or they're listening to you on Clubhouse, or they're watching you on video, you're jumping way over that and giving them a bigger taste of you and what you have to offer and what you're talking to them about, what your value is. They can find that out much, much quicker. So that's why this concept works so well. Because just about anybody who's going to read that book that you write on that topic, because obviously it's to do with your business, then they're going to take that lead magnet, you're going to build up your email list, and they're going to have this great information. You will continue to put out more information that you know that they're going to want and need. So it's a beautiful system that hardly anybody is doing. And the best way to do this and to get it selling well is if you want to use the Kindle system and have your book listed on Amazon. And you can do that like you can have somebody, once you've written it, you can have somebody convert it to that format and have it up on Kindle. Like that can happen within a couple of days for sure. And you can put your price wherever you want it to be. So if you want to offer your book for $1.99 or $2.99, you can. And then you can promote it, right? And this thing, you're not writing this book to sell millions of copies and make a whole bunch of money. You're writing this book as a giant calling card, as a great big brochure, as a way for you to lead them to that step of that really juicy nugget that you know they're going to want. Which menopausal woman wouldn't want to know how to reduce the hot flashes? Everyone would want to know that. And so they're going to take that. And you're going to get now, for the first time ever, a list of the people who buy your books. Because right now, authors don't get that, right? So it's a huge, huge move for you to make that will increase your leads list, and also knowing that those are hot client potential prospects, because you know that they're interested in that topic and that solution. So how do we go ahead and make this thing happen in such a short period of time? I think I promised you a 3-day turnaround, didn't I? And yes, you can. And what I'm specifically saying is that you can get it written in 3 days. It's going to take a couple more days only for you to sub it out to somebody on Fiverr, to convert it into the Kindle direct publishing, I think it's called, formatting, so that it can then be put onto Kindle and be available for sale. But the actual process for you for writing the book can be really simple if you let it be, okay? So you have to remind yourself constantly and really promise yourself that you're not going to try and make this thing perfect. If you can promise that to yourself, I can say and promise to you, you can get this done in those 3 days. And here's how. So, but before I start, let me just say again, type in the chat, let me know how you're liking this so far. Is this great information for you? Does it feel like it's going to help you to actually make the reality of writing your book happen? And I've just got to look over to my other page here to see. Okay, good. So yeah, I definitely leave me some comments, even if you're on the replay, and let me know what you're thinking about it. Yeah, I would love to know as well down the road, if you when you get this thing done, tag it in here, put it in on underneath this thread in this on this page, and let me and anybody else see which book you've got out there. I'd be happy to do that for any listeners here. So yeah, to the strategy, and I cannot take credit for this. I heard this through the grapevine, through another one of my mentors. I think it was Jim Edwards, who works over there at ClickFunnels with Russell Brunson. He came up with this amazing idea for how to bang out a book in such a short period of time, and it's brilliant. So you've got your topic, right? You figured that out. Now what you do is you just do like you would write down 20 questions or 20 like points that you want to make. Keep it simple. I'm not talking about chapters. I'm not talking about outlines or anything of that stuff that we're going to get all deep into and lose hours and hours of time trying to figure this out. Just come up with 20 questions you would want to address on this topic, or 20 points that you would want to address on this topic. And then what do? You call a friend, and you can do it on Zoom. Zoom is free for 2 people. You don't even have to have the paid account for a long period of time to have a conversation. And what you would do is have your friend, or another one, you can use freeconference.com. There's lots of others too, places where, because you're going to want to record this conversation. So what you're going to do is give all those 20 questions or those 20 points to your friend, and they're going to ask them to you. And you are going to have a conversation with your friend who you're not nervous with at all. And you're just going to talk like you would with a normal person who's asking you a question about your field of expertise, something you already know about and you're comfortable discussing, right? And the great thing, if you do decide to use Zoom, which is also free, by the way, is that when you're finished the recording, they also give you a text file. And that's beautiful, because that's what we want to do in the end. Once your recording is done and you finished your conversation, you are going to want to have that audio converted into text, and that is your book. Yes, you're going to have to go through and read it and maybe do a little bit of editing or make it fit into the sections or the chapters that you're going to want to do. That'll take a little bit of time, but the conversation you've had with your friend is maybe a couple of hours long. You go ahead and do that little bit of editing yourself, and again, reminding yourself the whole time that done beats perfect every time. You're not trying to perfect this, you're just trying to get it done, right? And this is also, I mean, it's not your memoir, it's not that 500 page non or fiction book novel that you've been thinking about writing, and whatever. It's a completely different purpose. So there is no wrong way to do it. There is no minimum length, for example. I think, well, okay, there is, but it's super short. I think the minimum length for a Kindle book is something like 4 or 5 pages. It's like totally, you're going to have your opening chapter, your closing chapter, and then all those questions in between can either be lumped into a couple of other chapters as well, make it 6 or 8 chapters total, or have them individual chapters, whichever you prefer. Yeah, boom, your book is done. Insert in there, maybe more than once if you can, your call to action, with that great little bit, and it can be an entire page to itself. By the way, after exhaustive research, our company has found, or I have found personally, an all natural, almost 100% cure for hot flashes. And if you would like to find out how to get rid of almost 80% of them, or however you want to word it, then click here, or I click here, then go to this URL and make it an easy URL for people to figure out, to get your free copy now. If you have to buy a domain, do it to make it super, super simple, like, endhotflashes.com. That's probably already taken. But, something really simple, or your name, or, something that's going to be easy for people to remember, because they're going to go, oh, I'll do that later. And then they might not, right? Yeah, so you want to make it really, really easy for them. And that's probably another good reason why you would want to have that call to action in there more than once, not just once. You would have it, I would put it at the end of every chapter. I would, and then at the end of the book again, for sure. And you could even, there's a theory that if you put it in the very beginning, it would actually show up for the people who want to take a peek inside and don't actually buy. But I don't know how many of those are going to go for the free lead magnet anyway. But anyway, it's a great strategy, everybody, and it works. Trust me, it works. The biggest thing, the biggest challenge for you to overcome is that perfectionism and wanting your desire to want to make this thing perfect. I get that. I mean, I'm a recovering perfectionist myself, and it took me a long time to get over that. But as an entrepreneur, you have to, because if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. Because by the time you get the thing done, everything changes, if it's going to take you that long to do. So you've got to get control of that and force yourself to do it. And it's not that hard. And the thing is, nobody's going to judge you. It's not going to be like, oh, look at this, there's a typo in there. I mean, ooh, you know what I mean? The level of information you're going to put out there that's going to like supersede any of that is just so much greater. And the people, your audience who's going to be reading it, are going to be so thrilled to have this information and these solutions to their problem that they didn't get from other sources. And that's why they decided to choose your book and your lead magnet and whatever product you're going to offer them next down along the road as well. So I hope that was beneficial for you. And I also hope that I remembered to introduce this as the 14th episode of the Legit eBiz Show. Just occurred to me, I might not have done that. This is the 14th episode, and yeah, we're getting through and banging them out. And this eBiz show happens. Sorry, I got a cat meowing here in the background. This eBiz show happens every week, Thursdays at, is it 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Pacific? I don't even know where my phone is. I think it's 6 p.m. right now, whatever time it is. Here it is. I can tell you in a second just to be sure. Yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays. Yeah, every week. So same place, same time. And I'll be coming to you next week with another great strategy that you can consider using in your business to get more of your right fit clients and help you to create the systems that make things easy and efficient to put your products in front of your people and make those sales. So, on that note, I will wrap it up and say thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.